on both.
We calculated for the 16 people, the total premium savings would be about $155,000. And that'd be shared 70-30, because that's the way the premium is shared. So you could extrapolate from the $155,000 for 16 people to the $9,000. This is based upon a single employee in the plan. So to the extent there are any families within the plan, it's got a different dynamic and it would actually be resolved in those things. But what we do is based upon single.
What was the Finance Committee's vote, if I may ask? I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm awful sorry.
She was patiently waiting.
I'm sorry. I think this would be a quick answer, though.
What was the Finance Committee vote? I think we were.
We voted in favor.
We voted in favor. I'm not sure. It may have been one abstention, but I think.
Other than that, it was unanimous?
It was pretty much unanimous. There could have been one vote the other way.
Okay.
I'm not, I don't know.
Mrs. Bernier.
Someone, and I'm sorry, I don't remember, but asked if, about the 50-50 split for premiums. My understanding is that the retirees are at the highest. You cannot, by law, give us a 55-45 split. That's
No.
my
Let me ask you, what do you mean 55-45, though? Who pays the 55?
Wait, versus.
I agree.
Right.
I agree.
That's correct.
I-
The most you can pay is 50%.
Okay.
We can go higher in terms of what the town
We
pays.
can reduce your
we
cost,
can't.
but we can't
Oh,
increase
I
it.
didn't think that was ever, okay.
No, that was my,
I misunderstood.
yeah, no.
That was the question that was asked the last time.
Right.
Okay.
We were concerned, yeah, it wasn't,
Now, there's 16 people that are eligible. I have several questions on this. Does the Finance Committee understand that for every person that is over 65 that has not gone on to Medicare, every year that they are not on it, they receive a penalty of moving over? And every year it increases by what percent, right?
I don't have a percentage, I have the total annual penalty estimated at $30,915.
But that's being considered as a penalty that the town would absorb,
That's the
correct?
town's cost.
Town's cost. There's
Correct.
also,
Finance Committee was aware of that.
Okay.
but I have a question regarding that. Is there an additional, that's the town cost, is there an additional cost to the retiree?
I'm not aware of one.
No,
No.
so that's the town's
However,
cost.
If you have, we have a lot of retirees that are in their late 80s and their 90s. Every year it is multiplied. So if you have, say, I can do math better, if it's 80 years old and they didn't come on at 65, that's 15 years of a penalty that has to be paid.
Does that number incorporate that?
Don't know. And we also have several retirees that are in their 90s. So that ends up to be a big chunk of money.
Are you assuming that these elderly retirees are eligible?
That, I tried to find out who were definitely eligible. I even volunteered to go and talk to them to see if it was gonna be a hardship for anybody. Also, you have to realize that if a couple is on the town insurance and one of them is qualified for Medicare, that automatically brings both of them over. So I don't know if they incorporated that also.
You're saying a large number are in their 80s and 90s, but
No, I just said there is a number. I
Okay.
honestly don't know.
But
I
that
know
number-
personally, so.
is that 16 number we're talking about, or maybe up to 25? Is that what we're talking about? Or is there more? Okay,
Oh, I think it's probably just the 25, but again,
Okay.
I'm not privy to those.
okay.
Well, we also don't know if any of these elderly people of whom she is speaking are Medicare eligible.
Right.
I'm saying. A lot of the homework wasn't done. Now, I know it's just figures, and I know it's saving money, and I know that's your job. But my job is to look at the people and who are going to be affected by this.
But I thought we know of 16, and there may be an additional 9. So we're talking about 9 that we don't know about that may or may not be eligible. Is that correct? Or is that number different? It's
No,
not.
that's what
That's the
Greg
number-
has said.
That's the number we're working on.
Okay.
Dana?
I'm one of those 9, I believe, I'm not positive. I will be affected. I will have to pay for my wife and myself the basic monthly pay, plus I'll have to buy supplemental insurance. When I was on the board, personnel board, we changed the town bylaws to have the retirees pay the same as a current employee when they retired, because originally, when you retired from the town of North Reading, you picked up the total premium yourself. You could stay on the town's plan, but you had to pick up the whole premium yourself. And we reasoned, obviously, when you retire, you don't wanna pick up additional costs. If anything, you wanna reduce costs. The town agreed, and at a town meeting, we changed it over to, at the time, it was 50-50. Now, it's 70-30 because of the HMOs. But what is gonna happen in my particular case, I mean, I look at it as a retirement benefit. Now what's gonna happen, that's gonna cost me a lot of money. I'm not gonna get reimbursed for that. That's gonna be straight out of my pocket. So that, to me, I look at it as I'm losing, a retirement benefit.
What would be your additional cost?
The additional cost, I have to pay the monthly premium to
But what's,
Medicare.
do you,
Plus, I have to buy a supplemental insurance to cover what Medicare doesn't cover.
but do you know what that number is?
Yes, I do. The lowest that he would be charged is $96.40 for Medicare.
For me and
And
my wife.
then $230 for medics this year. Now, that's for one person. Because he has a wife, you have to multiply it by 2. Both,
That's the additional cost, or is that the total
that's
cost?
the total that we have to pay.
That's
now.
that's the total.
Right. But he pays.
And what's the difference between that and what you're currently
He pays
paying?
$170 if he was a single. What do you pay for a family?
It's, the family is 4. something.
So,
463.
you're talking over $200 more per month.
One difference between,
Oh, wait a
the
minute.
HMO and MedX is that MedX is in fact a more generous plan. And whereby on the HMO, you have out-of-pocket expenses. There are no out-of-pocket expenses to speak of on MedX. So that's one thing that you need to factor in.
Well, we have, I know one employee who is on it, and one who isn't. And both of them compared, and the one that's on it, it's costing him a lot more money for prescriptions and everything else. So, I have to go on what actual people are paying, what's going on in their particular personal situation. Now, we had agreed originally when we discussed going to the GIC a long time ago, and we talked about the different things. We weren't totally against the town saving money, and we were trying to change it some, so at least the burden didn't totally go on us. And in this particular case, that burden, I mean, the town is saving a lot of money, but that burden is totally going on me and my wife.
Yes,
Well,
I'm still trying to understand something, okay? Aren't we paying 50% of their costs?
We are. Yeah.
You
But
sh-
I'm telling you the cost of us. What it costs us. I would assume it costs you the same amount. If it's a 50-50 split.
The number that it cost me is in that ballpark. It's a little less, but it's in the ballpark, right? And that's my total cost, but the town isn't reimbursing me 50%. So I'm
You have
confused.
medics?
Well, I have a Blue Cross supplement, which would be an equivalent to MedX.
All I can do is tell you.
Yeah, I have Medicare Part B, which is $90 or $92 a month, right? And then I have a supplemental plan. which is around $200, a little over $200.
Do you also have, drugs?
That's combination, well, it was $210, and this year they split the drugs as part of the program last year. So it's probably around $250.
Okay, well, Medix charges us,
So it's $250 plus 90, right?
96.
Or 96, okay. Want to split hairs. So it's let's say it's $350. So if the town's paying half of it, right?
No, that's our cost. Our cost is
Well,
100.
I don't,
just rounded
well, I
up,
guess
100
I don't
for
understand.
Medicare and 230.
I thought the town paid 50%.
We do.
Then Medix
Yeah.
is charging
We
the
do.
town.
When she says 230, it's
230.
230 paid by the town and 230 paid by the retiree.
Right.
The
So,
town
okay,
absolutely
so the
contributes.
Medix plan that you have is much better
It's a
than,
rich plan. I mean, if you go through
It
the
must be,
prescription,
yeah.
it's very rich.
because I mean, I think my plan is more than adequate, and I'm paying half of that.
I can't tell you that because I am in no drugs whatsoever. I can only tell you what we are faced with. And getting back to this overpay that some people seem to be fixated on, how I tried to state this was, everybody has to pay minimum $96.40 to Medicare. Don't ask me to explain it because even I don't understand it. However, under Medicare Premium B, there is a drug component. If the person can show the government that they are getting drug coverage from someplace else, which we do under Medix, then they take that money and send it back to the town. That's what I was asking about. It's $100,000 back to the town. My question is, what happens to this? So is that wrong?
I thought we just answered that question.
Okay, I'm trying.
It's
to
not coming,
explain
my understanding is it's not, your
explain it a little further.
my understanding,
It's not your,
It's not all-
not your premium payment that allows the government to send the town back $100,000. It's not an overpayment. It's because the town offers you a Medix plan that's much more generous than under the federal government plan.
Right,
So the town gets compensated for that.
so the town gets,
Right.
Well,
But
then-
my concern was, would you,
okay,
I thought what I heard from you 2 weeks ago was that your concern was it was an overpayment premium by the retirees, which was a concern of mine too. But it's not.
well, I've done some research and there are towns that do take that 100,000, I'm just giving it by our money.
Right.
And gives it back to the retirees.
Okay. But that's different
My
than,
understanding is, if I'm understanding this right, the town takes the 100,000 and goes over to Medix and say the bill is 5 million and here's 100,000 and now it's 490.
the money, the
4.9.
money goes,
Understand that?
4.9.
the money goes into the general
That's pretty
fund.
accurate.
It goes into Medix.
Well, it's,
We use it to offset our health insurance budget for the year. So there'll be a
Does not
vote.
go on to the side where the employees are and spread through the employees. It's strictly held so that it cuts your costs down and it cuts our costs down as to what we pay for Medix premium. Is that what I am?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I needed to ask and find
Okay.
out.
yeah, I just want to be clear, it's not an
I do too.
it's not an overpayment from the retirees.
all right, you know, I don't want to be here all night if we don't have to be, so. One more question, Dana, go ahead.
Just one more question, because this has come up a number of times, and it's been brought out, and I want to make it perfectly clear that we can negotiate with Blue Cross Blue Shield, we can negotiate with other insurance companies. We have to get out of Maya to do it. That's why we can't negotiate with them. We have had people in here that have actually told everybody and sat down with us and showed us how we can negotiate. They do it in other towns. So it can be done. This isn't the only alternative we have. And the GIC isn't the only alternative. There are a number of other alternatives